Instruments are more powerful than the instrumentalists. The voice is always greater than the vocalist. I want you to see who is being played here. All your life you have been thinking that we are playing the instruments. Today I want to tell you that the instruments are playing us. None of us is doing music. Music is doing us. You know, the instruments do not have an awareness. They are not aware of anything. We are the ones who are spirits, and so we have consciousness. We are conscious of reality, and we are conscious of God. We know who God is, and we are aware of who God is. Remember, Jesus said to the Samaritan woman that worship is in spirit. You need the Spirit of the Lord, who gives you an awareness of who God is, and it is after this awareness that you begin to worship, because you cannot worship something that you are not aware of. You are first aware. After you are made aware, you begin to bow. I said when I explained this in one of my previous videos that the stones cannot worship God because they are not aware of who God is. Until God gives them His Spirit, only then can they join us in the worship of God. Speaking of musical instruments, the guitar, for example, has no awareness of reality whatsoever. When I step on the guitar, my consciousness fuses with the instrument. The instrument comes alive. I in fact become the guitar. When somebody steps on the piano, their awareness marries the piano and they become the piano. Whatever instrument you step on, the musical instruments pry on our consciousness. And when they are given conscious energy, they come alive. And when they come alive, they prove to us who is above who. I mean, when I get on the guitar and start playing the guitar, I think I'm playing the guitar, but the guitar starts playing my consciousness and I begin to cry. I hope you are hearing what I am saying. When a man is on a piano, his consciousness marries the piano, and now he starts to cry. Because now the piano becomes elevated above man himself, because the instrument has always been above man, except for the fact that the instrument lacked consciousness. The vocalist would listen to their voices and they cry over time, because the voice proves to be above the vocalist themselves. Here is the problem with us. We are in a realm of interpretation. We are trapped in the illusion of interpreting things. We want to interpret things and we think that reality is at the zone of interpretation. I explained in one of my videos, you should go and check it out. The video is titled, Who is God? You know, we are using these metaphors and we are thinking that God is to the extent of the metaphors themselves. We are using poetic language and we're thinking that God is limited to that. God is not confined to any of the words we speak. We call him the Rock of Ages, for example. And I said, no, he is not the rock. We know that he is the creator of the rocks. He is not the light. He is the one who said that there should be light in the beginning. So your metaphors do not confine God. God is greater than your language. God is greater than English. He's greater than Zulu and French and Tswana and all these languages. He is not in any of these things. So our mind makes sense of reality by interpreting it. Because when we have put our interpretation, only then can we sleep. We are able to have peace. We are scared, in fact, of removing all our metaphors and remaining with nothing. We are scared of going crazy because we are thinking that we won't have an understanding of anything, and that is scary, to become blank. We are scared of stepping in that zone of being blank, but that is the deepest worship. I have peace with that. I have peace with that. I cannot explain any of these things. We are using our interpretations, and that's why we are limited. That is why our worship is limited. The worshiper tries to interpret reality. He tries to interpret God, and that worship is limited. So musical instruments don't try to interpret anything. They just become real. And when they become real, we cry to whatever sound they are making. You are trying to interpret things. That is your problem. Your worship is interpretational. You are trying to interpret everything. You are trying to use English to interpret God. That is why your worship is shallow. The vocalist tries to use his musical techniques to interpret God, and that is why the vocalists are always shallow. Instruments will always be higher than us because instruments interpret nothing. They are real with God. And when they get our consciousness, they prove to us that they are meaning business. They mean business. And that is why they have us crying all the time. Stop with your interpretations. God is above all these interpretations. God is above them. You don't want to become an instrument, become real. Tap in your spirit and see that God is above all these things.